Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Nintendo Switch 2 details. When the PS5 launched, there were a lot of PS4 games that you were able to then upgrade later on for an increased amount of money. So $10 or so would get you an upgrade patch that would upgrade frame rate and graphics from PS4, like in Jedi Survivor as an example, up to PS5 quality graphics. By and large, it worked well, and there's no problem. Well, with Nintendo announcing the Switch 2, they also announced a similar program where you'd be able to pay for an upgrade fee for certain games and get a patch that would then up the graphics resolutions as well as frame rate. But one thing that Nintendo is doing where Sony really isn't, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, is that Nintendo is actually going to be including, ahead of his Nintendo Switch 2 launch, free updates for a selection of existing Switch games to enhance performance and add new features in the upcoming console. Now, these updates will be available starting June 5th, 2025, and include improved visuals, frame rate upgrades, HDR support, and game share functionality. So if you have one Switch 2 and, say, a regular Switch, you can share the game and play two players on multiple screens. And Nintendo went on to actually detail which of these updates would be free, especially if you have, I believe these are free with Nintendo Switch Online. I could be wrong. Let's go ahead and jump onto Nintendo's page. This is something that Sony definitely didn't do. So here we are on the Nintendo official website, nintendo.com. And yeah, we're going to go through some of these games here and see what it says. It says, free updates for select Nintendo Switch games. Free updates to enhance gameplay experience on Nintendo Switch 2 systems will be released for select Nintendo Switch games. So it doesn't really say even when Nintendo Online. It appears it's just free. So yeah. So here we go. ARMS is one of the launch titles for the Switch. An unexpected hit for Nintendo, in my opinion. But yeah, visual optimized for the Nintendo Switch 2. Display and high-resolution TVs for improved image quality. Frame rate is optimized for Nintendo Switch 2 for smoother movement, even when playing with 3 or more players. HDR support. We're going to get what these asterisks are at the bottom here. But yeah, Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Now, when we're looking at games like ARMS and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, I'm just going to say HDR for these games are really going to make the colors Nintendo is known for. It's really going to pop off the screen. I mean, it's going to look really, really good. Nintendo's art style really lends itself to HDR support. So, yeah, get ready. Captain Toad here, visual optimized for Switch 2, high resolution, HDR support, game share support. 2 people can play all of the courses, share locally or share online via game chat. So, adding game chat to it, very cool. Clubhouse games, Game Builder Garage, Super Mario Deluxe U, with improved high resolution TV for improved image quality. That game already ran at 60 frames per second. So, they're just going to really make it look that much better with probably, 1440p, hopefully at least. This is the big one for those of you out there. You guys know that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it had subpar frame rate on the Switch. It was really, Game Freak really didn't optimize this game that much. Well, it looks like both of them are going to be having visual upgrades, optimized for Switch 2 display, and high-resolution TVs for improved image quality. But here's the more important part. Frame rate. Improved for smoother movement on Switch 2. So a lot of the times the frames on the Switch 1 were barely hitting 30 frames. Sometimes, they would dip into the teens, which really created some hiccups and some stutter. So if you can get this anywhere above 30, the game is going to be already much more improved. If you can get it up to 60, even better. But yeah, this is one of those games that sorely needed it and really showed what the optimization that was needed on the Switch one, which normally Nintendo handles themselves, but with Game Freak being the ones that developed the game and Nintendo merely publishing it, it really missed the mark when it came to that. Still a great game, still people loved it, but yeah, it's gonna really come in handy. Super Mario 3D World is gonna look amazing. HDR for Bowser's Fury only, which is interesting. They're not including HDR for the main mode that was on Wii U. But overall, visuals are optimized. Frame rate is only... Oh, no, it's for both, including Bowser's Fury. HDR is only for Bowser's Fury. Up to 4 people can play Super Mario 3D World in Game Share. In Bowser's Fury, 2 people can play together with one player controlling Mario and the other controlling Bowser Jr. and share locally or online via game chat. Very cool. Super Mario Odyssey improved, again, resolution with HDR support. 2 people can play together with one player controlling Mario and the other controlling Cappy. Share locally or share online via game chat. This is one of those other games that's going to look just outstanding. Already a beautiful looking game on the original Switch. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is getting HDR support as well as optimized high resolutions, along with Link's Awakening. So again, these are free. You're just going to be able to download these on June 5th, which is spectacular. You know, Sony, they added those $10 packages, and we are seeing that with certain games for Nintendo. But even those games are going to get the free upgrades through Nintendo Switch Online, like Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild. If you have Nintendo Switch Online, you just get those upgrades for free anyway. Well, from what I can see here, some of these are just free, and then some of them will require online play. So let's see what the asterisks were. So those single asterisks says Nintendo Switch 2 systems must initiate the game share session, of course, because that's the one that has the option. Users who receive the software via game share can only play the software during the game chat sessions in which was shared. Game share will not be playable after the chat ends, of course. So if the main player, the person who owns the game, cuts off, that's the end of the game. The other person will be able to just keep the game on their systems. That's obvious. Second asterisk here, additional accessories may be required for multiplayer mode sold separately. So perhaps a second controller or something of that nature, depending on the game. HDR compatible displays required when playing in TV mode, of course. If your console is trying to push out HDR and you don't have an HDR display, TV monitor, it's not going to obviously display in that. And then the fourth asterisk for some of these, like share locally or share via game chat. It says Internet, Nintendo Switch Online membership, and Nintendo account required for online features, including game chat. Not available in all countries. Nintendo support, blah, blah, blah. Game chat open access period until March 31st of 2026. Remember that game chat will be free for a year. A Nintendo Switch Online membership is not needed to enjoy game chat. Afterwards, a Nintendo Switch Online membership will be required. So, if you're going to be doing these game shares over the game chat option after March 2026, obviously those players are going to have to then have an online account in order to do the game share option along with yourself, which makes sense. But other than that, the actual visual optimization, HDR support, and improved frame rate is going to be 100% free according to Nintendo. Some of these, honestly, I think that's going to breathe a lot of new life into some of these games, especially for players who are graphic whores and only into like top-notch frame rate. 30 frames per second, my eyes are bleeding. I think that's going to really reignite a lot of these games, especially these older titles like ARMS. I wasn't expecting that or Captain Toad to get a new update for them. But some other ones like Mario Brothers U Deluxe are really going to look good. And Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, more importantly, more than any other game that was mentioned on here, honestly, is probably the one that needed it the most. So any Pokemon players out there, if you're excited about that update, you can grab it for free once you get your Switch 2. That's good news. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Just want to do a quick recap or a quick update on these Nintendo Switch games that are going to be getting a brand new upgrade for free. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Which one of these are you more excited about? And are you planning on picking up some of these older games if you haven't already, now that these upgrades are going to be available for them for free? I mean, is this something that you're interested in playing on your Switch 2 with better graphics, better resolution, HDR support, better frame rate? It's kind of what everybody's been begging for the last 5 years, isn't it? As always, I just kind of want to thank you guys for being here on the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, please leave a comment. And as always, want to just, catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.